What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Tuesday, September 19th, 7 a.m. New York time. So good morning to everyone here stateside. Good afternoon to everyone on the other side of the pond. And good evening to everyone on the other side of the world. Glad you guys are here and back on the Venator Trading $10K to $2 million funding challenge. Sponsored by our incredible, amazing, awesome, outstanding partners, Bespoke Funding Program. One of the best in the business going right now, for sure, without a doubt. Coming up on their 1-year anniversary, and they're just out there killing it. And they are the sponsor of our stream, which allows us to give away a 10K account every single week, allows us to give a 25K account out to someone in our Discord, free Discord channel. And this time next week, 1 week from today, we will be giving away a 100K account with Bespoke Funding, a 100K account with Bespoke Funding. You want to talk about a freaking life-changing opportunity, managing a 100K account. There is all you have to do is repost my pinned tweet on Twitter that is pinned to my profile. And then you must be subscribed to the YouTube channel, which we are over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Cheers. Clinking coffee cups this morning. We hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm pretty stoked about that, actually. 4 months, almost 4 months to the day. We started in May, June, July, August, September. 4 months. Almost 4 months to the day, we hit 1,000 subs on YouTube, which I did not think would happen for like a year. I really did not think we would get to 1,000 subs. That was my goal, is a year from when I started to have 1,000 subs. And here we are 4 months in with 1,000 subs on the YouTube channel. So pretty stoked about that. And it wouldn't be the stream it is without all of you guys showing up here every single day and participating in the chat and jumping in, asking questions, cracking jokes, giving each other a hard time, and encouraging and inspiring each other at the same time as well. So thank you guys for being here and for watching and for participating and just being part of the Venator family. It really does mean a lot. And if you want to support the channel, there's a couple things you can do for free. You can click the like button. That does help the channel algorithm get out and push it to more people that may not be aware of what we're doing here every single day. And then you can join the free Discord channel as well and jump over in there. This week, I will be picking someone in that Discord channel to win a to have a $25,000 account with Bespoke. Just someone that I feel like is really contributing to the community and helping grow our Venator family over there, being active and posting and just trying to get where they want to be with their trading career. So join that. I will post that link, or someone else can post. No one else can post that link. I don't know what I'm talking about. Venator via people. You can, let me put this in the chat here real quick. You can join the Discord there with that chat on that link that I just put in the YouTube chat. So hop over there and be a part of the fam. And if you're looking to pick up a new challenge, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can use the code Venator when you check out. You get 15% off and 85% profit split anytime that you use that code. So on any size challenge, any challenge that they have, the classic, the trader's choice, whatever it is, whatever size it is, if you use code Venator, you get 15% off and an 85% profit split. Now, They have a really great discount promotion running for the month of September where you get 22.5% off. It's crazy, 22.5% off. You get like 87% profit split or something crazy, and then like 140% refund on your challenge fee with your profit split. So if you want to take advantage of that discount that they're running, you can use the link in my YouTube description. And you can, that way the stream, you can support the stream that way. It is an affiliate link. We do get a small percentage, but it helps me keep doing everything here for free and helping as many traders as I can without having you guys having to shell out your money to me for being a part of being able to watch this and learn and grow and be a part of this together. So that is how you can support the stream here at Venator Trading. But we're here every day, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., usually for a couple hours every day, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Yesterday's was a little bit shorter, but that typically is on Mondays. We just laid out our analysis, our higher time frame draws and liquidity, where we were expecting price to move into and away from and towards. And so when we do that, then we are looking for opportunities to participate in moves into our draws on liquidity. Yesterday, for euro dollar, we highlighted this daily breaker right here that we traded through last week. Oh, excuse me. Leaving behind, it displaced through that order block, leaving behind a fair value gap, which is actually it's a setup for our actual trading plane. You could just swing trade this. You could enter here about 50% of that breaker inside that fair value gap and just hold this and swing trade it down at least through this old swing level here, potentially down into this level here. But we were saying that yesterday as the market opened, we were anticipating price to move up into this fair value gap inside this breaker. This could potentially be somewhere today or tomorrow, the high of the week up in here. We have FOMC, which is the dollar interest rate decision coming out tomorrow afternoon. So you could see price pop up, maybe even above the swing high, maybe news or whatever. I'm still expecting a bullish dollar. All signs in the economy point that the Fed interest is still going to raise the rates, which is going to be bullish for the dollar. That doesn't mean you won't get some volatility and grab some liquidity grabs up into these old buy-side areas here. First, it doesn't have to. This is where I wanted to see price draw and then roll over and start heading lower here. Maybe today, we'll see. Could be tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. We get our weekly open. So if you're looking at if you're thinking of a weekly candle, this is your open, right? You get the candle expansion higher to put in a high, and then you get the candle expansion lower to put in a low, which leaves behind your wick. So when this candle goes up and it's bullish where it is right now, this is the open price. So for it to be bearish, which is what we're anticipating, price will need to reverse and then expand lower, put in a body, and then at some point find a low in there and put in a, but this is what your weekly candle would look like. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pullback. So this is what we're trying to do every week, is identify what's the weekly candle going to look like this week. Well, currently we've opened and we've put in a high. We have not opened. I think the open, what is the open? The open 06868, and the low, I'm sorry, the open was 06530, and there is no wick on this. Like, it just opened and has moved up. It did not put any lower wick in. So it's going to come back down and put a wick in here for this week. It's not going to leave no wick here. I mean, can it? Yes. The likelihood that that's going to happen is extremely low. So you're kind of trying to anticipate what is the weekly candle going to be. What is it going to do? Right now, we're in the open. We're putting in a wick. We're waiting for the high of the week to be put in, and then we're going to wait for expansion lower. And we're anticipating some form of weekly candle looking like this over today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, right? So this is what we're anticipating. Doesn't mean it will do that. We can very often be wrong. Our analysis is not always 100% accurate. This is just a plan that you need to have every week when you go into the market, and you're looking for what's the higher time frame draw on liquidity, what's the weekly candle going to be looking like, what are the days it's most likely going to expand in the direction that you're anticipating. When you have that plan in place, it's a lot simpler to move down into the time frame that you're monitoring setups on and the time frames that you're looking for entries on, and then try to find moves that align with that overall plan for the week. So because we were anticipating this move up, which we got towards the end of yesterday, and then so far today through the London session, we've moved up. We're filling in this fair value gap here, almost completely filled it in. We've filled in this volume imbalance, the opening gap from last week. We filled that in. We're right in the middle of this daily breaker. So my anticipation is still to look for sells. So I'm still going to be looking now that we've had this pullback, which also is probably approaching the OTE area. OTE is just optimal trade entry. It's a ICT term. Swing high to swing low, you pull a fib. We're back into a premium level from this move down. So we're in a premium level. We're almost, the OTE would be right here, the optimal trade entry. So anywhere between here, this red line and this top green line would be a healthy retracement, and you would anticipate reversals off of that. So a lot of confluences here to say that we might be reaching a place where we're putting in our high for the week. But with FOMC coming out tomorrow, you could get some more chop, a lot like you got yesterday. Not super high probability trading conditions when you're heading into news on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday and Tuesday often are choppy and kind of, what does he call it? The seek and destroy profiles, where it's just grabbing liquidity on either side of a range. And traders just get chopped up. And I used to do that. I used to try to be looking for trades every single day on the 10-minute, the 5-minute, the 3-minute, the 1-minute, and you just get chopped up. There's no reason to be in the market trying to trade every single day. Just because you are a day trader does not mean that you need to trade every single day. And understanding when you should not trade is equally as important as understanding what your A+ setup looks like and when you should execute your trade. I'm still seeing guys out there taking 5, 6, 7 trades a day. And there's no reason for that. Guys, if you want to get out of the 90% club of failing challenges, you have got to stop taking so many trades. There's no reason to do it. You can make plenty of money trading 1, 2 times a week, 3 times a week max. You can make plenty of money. Just be patient and wait for those A+ setups to form. You don't need to be in the market constantly. That is a pain inside of you. That is a weakness inside of you that you need to address. Of why do I have to be in the market all the time? Why do I have to do that? It's because you believe that you're missing profits. You believe that you can pass challenges quicker. You're believing lies about how this business works. And the more trades you take, the more you're less likely to pass. The more trades you take, the less money you're going to make. You're just exposing yourself to more risk than you need to. And every time you expose yourself to the market, like I said, I tweeted out the other day, if the market was the ocean, every time you step into the ocean, you have instantly become part of the food chain when you step into the water. And you're not safe. There's things you can do to keep yourself safe and try to stay safe. But when you're in the ocean, you have entered you are now part of the food chain. And that's it. Same with the market. Every time you put yourself into the market, you are part of the food chain for someone else to survive and make money in the market. And so don't go in. Don't go in. Just stay out. If you stay out of the markets, you're not in the food chain. You're on the sidelines, you're watching, you're learning, you're observing, you're being patient, you're waiting, and you're waiting for your opportunity that you can go in safely and most likely come out alive, and maybe with more than what you went in with. So you got to be patient, you got to wait, and part of that is understanding where the higher time frame draw of liquidity is, waiting for price to get there, then waiting for your setup to form, making sure all your rules and your boxes are checked, then executing your trade and letting it go from there. All right, that's the name of the game. So today I'm just going to be looking for euro dollar shorts. I'm going to be looking for pound dollar shorts. We're reaching up into some buy side liquidity here. We've left the obvious strong liquidity down here. On GU has not tapped into that yet, shockingly. So I'm actually glad. I'm glad this hasn't been tapped. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for buy side liquidity to get run. It's already tapped into some buy side liquidity here. I will be interested to see if it takes out these highs up in here. And if it does, I'm going to be instantly looking for displacement lower and an opportunity to sell the heck out of EU and GU. That's what I'm looking for. On the dollar time frame, you can see we've tapped into the, this is the correlated fair value gap here on the DXY that aligns with the euro dollar fair value gap that we're inside of right now. It's respecting that. It's tapped down into it. It has pulled back off of this volume imbalance that we've highlighted weeks ago. This is our higher time frame draw on liquidity for the dollar. We've come up to it. We've paused. We're reaching down into some internal liquidity. The question is, do we need to reach external liquidity before we run higher? External liquidity is an old high or old low. Internal liquidity is fair value gaps and lower time frame PD arrays. So here on the daily time frame, we're anticipating this fair value gap to sustain itself and support itself, just like this one did here. We can take this one off, actually. So we're just watching and waiting here right now to see if price can indeed find some strength here. Maybe it's today, maybe it's not. It could just chop here today inside this fair value gap and wait for the news tomorrow to rocket this thing off up into these buy side liquidity targets here. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's my plan. GJ is just ugly as hell. It's just, there's just no good price action on GJ. This is just really, really disgusting looking. There's just nothing here. Or we've been bullish on GJ for quite a while. And just like this kind of all happened, this is all happening again. Very choppy, grab some sell side liquidity and then rocket it off. Very choppy. It's now underneath the sell side liquidity and it's held underneath now this fair value gap for a couple days. We've grabbed some sell side liquidity. The question is, can the pound find some strength against the yen? Maybe. We know that there's a higher time frame draw of liquidity here on GJ, but we also know that the Bank of Japan has been very, very clear that they are about to step in and take action against the weakness that is happening with the yen, which means all of these pairs that are trading against the yen and have just been in these massive uptrends are about to get hammered by the Bank of Japan. We don't know when it's going to happen. We think it's going to could be sometime this month. It will probably be sometime in October. And in the meantime, you can see these pairs are positioning themselves and engineering liquidity, waiting for that to happen. When it happens, I do anticipate some weakness on UJ, GJ, EJ, whatever J you want to say. I would be looking for some weakness there. So until then, I would anticipate that this market stays pretty ugly like this. It could pop up, grab some buy side. If it does want to go down when the yen starts to strengthen, it may want to grab some buy side liquidity up here, trap some buyers that are still in this bullish trend, and then it's going to roll over. And it has a lot of room to the downside, a lot of liquidity that could be tapped into. So we'll see when that happens if we can participate in any of that. UJ, very similar. UJ is a little bit stronger than GJ right now because the dollar is still very bullish. Even if the Bank of Japan intervenes, the dollar may still not have as much weaknesses like GJ or EJ when it comes to that. We'll see. But right now, we're just kind of in this little consolidation, tight little ranges right now. Look at the last like 4 or 5 day candles. They're just itty bitty compared to these candles here. That's just winding up and getting ready. It's anticipating you could get your pop up with FOMC, grab this buy side liquidity, and maybe then you start to see some rollover here on UJ as well. But for the most part, I'm not super interested. UJ is our chat pair for the week. I'm not super, I don't know. It would just have to be a very clear setup. I am still bullish. So I guess more than anything, I would be looking for buy setups. So runs of liquidity to the sell side and then displacement up, and hopefully find an entry on a fair value gap after you get the displacement up. So we'll be looking for that first and foremost. Any displacement up on UJ, we'll see if we can find a setup there. Indices, I'm still expecting some weakness. It's just hovering around much like it did yesterday, just very choppy on basically every single index, super choppy. And, that's just kind of what it is. There's nothing there super clean for me to be interested in there. My eye is on EU and GU. Those are the pairs that are trending. They are respecting PD arrays. They are just moving pretty smoothly and as anticipated. And so those are the ones that I'm going to be most interested in finding a setup. On EU, again, this is our lower time frame. This is our mother time frame. We monitor on the 15-minute setup. This is the daily fair value gap, this kind of yellowish box here. And then the teal colored box, blue, green, whatever it is, that's our daily breaker. So we're right up inside where we anticipated. During yesterday's stream, we were down in here. Let's see, where was yesterday's stream? Right here. So price was right down in here. And I said, just wait. Don't be trying to sell this right now. Wait for price to run up into this area, into this fair value gap, and then we'll wait and see what it wants to do. It's setting up a beautiful market maker sell model. If you're familiar with the ICT market maker sell model, it's setting up a beautiful market maker sell model here. Smart money reversal will be somewhere up in here, and then it's going to roll over and aim for these lows down here. So that's what we're waiting on and anticipating, and that's what we're just going to sit and do nothing with. We're going to sit and do nothing with. It says there's red folder news today, building permits. I don't trade. I will trade right through that if we get a setup. I do not give one care at all about building permits coming out for the red folder news. Red folder news. Building permits are not red folder news. They're not even listed as red folder news on Forex Factory. So we'll trade right through that if we get a setup. We've obviously grabbed some buy side liquidity here. We've had displacement higher. I was looking at a trade setup here for London, if there was a possibility for a trade setup for London. And I guess technically if you wanted to take a counter trend trade, if you were anticipating a run of these highs and a deeper dig into this fair value gap right here, from the London session, you potentially could have had that right here. So the midnight opening candle right here, this last little up close candle right here, that little last up close candle is your breaker. So you had this run up, London opens, comes down, takes out the sell side liquidity right here, takes out all of this sell side liquidity under here from the Asian session, takes out this sell side liquidity, this old swing low, and immediately displaces. This is what immediate displacement looks like. As soon as you tap into sell side liquidity, it immediately displaces. And what does it do? It leaves behind a fair value gap inside of the breaker. And if you were anticipating price to run up into these highs and take a deeper dig into that fair value gap, you did indeed have, if you could use the 10-minute, you could use the 15-minute, or you could use the 5-minute. They were all accurate on their fair value gaps. But if you had just identified, oh, look, there's a fair value gap right there. And I am going to, let me just mark it out color-wise so you can see it. So breaker, fair value gap, the fair value gap is inside of the breaker. Part of that fair value gap is inside that breaker. And if you had just targeted an entry, I want to get as close to 50% of the breaker as I can, but I'm going to try to stay inside that fair value gap. So if I would just wait for a fill of that fair value gap, I'm going to put my stop below the body of the candle. In this case, I might actually put it below the candle just to get, I don't like less than 7 pips on my stops on EU. That puts it below the breaker, below the candle. These 3 candles create the fair value gap. The high of this candle right here, the low of this candle right here, the gap in between is the fair value gap. You put your stop below the candle that created the fair value gap down here. This candle right here. 7 pip stop, 1 to 2, just over 1 to 2, easy money. That's a big quick win. It's a counter trend trade. I wouldn't have taken it even if I was on the stream. I probably wouldn't have taken this as it's a counter trend trade, and we had already tapped into that fair value gap. So what it's doing right now is what I would prefer to see, which is a run of liquidity to the buy side. This is a stab into liquidity that is in the opposite direction of my bias. My bias is to sell euro dollar. So I am waiting for price to move aggressively against my bias and into an area of liquidity. Well, that's exactly what this fair value gap is, this daily fair value gap is. It's very clearly engineered buy side liquidity above all of these old swing highs. We've had a very quick stab up. Now I'm waiting to see displacement away. I want to see a move now in my direction. I want to see it move aggressively. I want to see it break through this order block. I want to see a fair value gap inside of here, and then find that as an entry to get short and target sell side liquidity targets over here and over here and over here. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a nice trend line going on. You've got a higher time frame draw of liquidity. You've got the market maker sell model set up here, where it's accumulation, pop up, accumulation, pop up, accumulation, smart money reversal somewhere here. It could make another stab higher. We're gonna wait and see what it wants to do. The first few objects of our trading plan, at least for my trading plan that I'm doing here on this live stream, have been met. We have had a move higher into buy side liquidity, and now we're just waiting to see when and if and when price displaces, we'll be ready to attack. GU, very similar. We're now into buy side liquidity. I'm interested to see it if GU wants to run any more higher liquidity areas above these old highs here, and if it does, a very obvious draw on liquidity right down here, this old swing level that hasn't yet to be tapped into. So I'm going to wait and see if GU wants to run up and then displace lower. And then we'll look for our move in our setup. Besides that, I've talked to GJ, UJ, we've talked to indices. There's really not much more to look at. And now it's just the waiting game. This is what we do every single day. We spend 20 minutes looking and analyzing the charts, talking through exactly what we want to see happen. And then we take our hand off of the button and we just chill out, and we hang out and we talk and we have a good time and we look at other charts and we answer questions and we make fun of each other and Kirby and anything else that we can find to kill time while we wait for our setup to form. And that's 98% of what every professional trader does every single day. They sit down with the charts. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to be a long-term profitable trader who's consistently getting payout. Simple as that. If you're sitting down every single day trying to take 4, 5, 6 trades every single day, in the end, you are not going to be able to sustain that. You're just not. And the sooner you can understand that, accept that, and embrace that and change that, the sooner you are going to be able to get out of the 90% club. All right, I haven't said hello or good morning to anyone yet, so I'm going to have a lot of scrolling to do here to get back up into the chat. So let me jump over to chat and say hi to some people. Cisco, good morning. And yes, I have switched over to the live chat. I saw your comment right before I got on. So thank you for the reminder. I did get into the live chat, not the top chat. Adrian, good morning. Mr. Alfie, good morning. John, welcome in, my friend. Blitz, Dinah, hello, welcome in and welcome back. Good to see you back on the stream. Corey, OG Corey in the house. What's up, Corey? Welcome in, buddy. Beeswax, Michael Dahl, LOL. Owen is here. Owen is killing it right now. Owen is absolutely just smashing his payouts and stacking accounts. So way to go, my friend. Good job with that. Yeah, congrats on the 1K. I'm super pumped about the 1K, y'all. I really am. I'm really just kind of blown away and humbled by how quickly that has happened. And it kind of seems surreal to see that number when I open up my YouTube studio and I see it says 1,000 subscribers. That's crazy that there's 1,000 people out there that want to pay attention to the things that I put on YouTube. I just feel incredibly grateful and humbled by that. So Saeem says, Congo on one. Yeah, man. Thanks you for all of the congratulations and good evening. Saeem, welcome in. Andy C. H, what's up? Sir, your dev. Good morning. Is it a breaker block on the EU 15-minute? Technically, yes. I mean, I would not be trying to buy euro dollar right now on anything. I would be waiting for displacement down like we just talked about. Shadow Trades, welcome in and good evening. Don't bother on stop loss. So 100 long 1K subs. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Shanghai 20, 40 to 50 pips is possible. I'm not sure what that. Oh, what's the movement on CAD pairs? Yeah, CAD CPI is coming out. We're not watching any CAD pairs, but it will pop. It'll pop maybe to both sides. You're going to get some aggressive movement on CAD pairs when that CPI news hits. FibZone, trading less is more, 100%. FibZone, have you taken any trades on the 10K account that you won last week? Let us know. Bastian Schultz, hey, what about the liquidity building above so many wicks? Yes, we will be waiting for the liquidity to be run, and then we will look for displacement in the opposite direction. Are you on ACAP? I am on ACAP, not Think Markets. Bastian Schultz, don't mean anything. 40 trades yesterday to catch one move. I made 3% negative. 40 trades in one day, my friend, is about 39 too many trades in one day. Jad, welcome in. Do you ever update your template? It's annoying seeing wrong numbers. Are they wrong? What's wrong on my numbers? I'm not sure, Jad. I think everything is correct. I think everything is correct currently on my template. If I'm wrong, I don't know where I would be wrong at. Unless it's the bespoke banner needs to change because they have changed their maximum allocation to 2 million instead of 1 million. I mean 4 million. It was $4 million max funding because they had 2 million for a 1-step and 2 million for a 2-step. They've lowered that to $2 million. And I think it's only $1 million now for the 2-step, which is what I will be going for. So that's the only thing that could have changed, but I'm not sure what else, what other numbers that you're thinking are wrong. LOL says, WTF chat, it's updated, ready, and they're the right numbers. Thanks. Trading Night, hello, Team Texas. Welcome in. Bastion says, you're trading so many pairs, assets yourself, and you say don't take a trade. Yes, I do. I do say that. I'm watching all of these pairs. I'm watching every single pair to see if a setup forms. I'm not trading all these pairs. So there's no hypocrisy in what I'm saying by saying stop taking trades. You can watch all these pairs. There's not a setup yet on any one of them. And if there was a setup on every single one of them, I would pick the best setup and trade it. I'm not going to trade every single pair. Just because you can watch lots of pairs and not take trades on every single pair. It is not inconsistent to say don't take a lot of trades, but also have 4 pairs that you're watching. That is not inconsistent. Ashok, what's the relation between indices and the DXY? Typically, they move opposite of each other. Typically. So if the DXY is going up, if there's strength on the dollar, typically the indexes will have weakness. That is not a foolproof 100% system, but it is in general, that is typically how they act. If there's dollar strength, DXY strength, there's typically weakness on the indexes. Bastion, I do the same. I trade many pairs, but I use higher time frames. If you join our Discord, we discuss about such stuff. Venator, dear, you're on a very concrete, mature level of trading, and not everyone is able to stop this emotional ride. How you manage? I agree. I definitely have reached a point where I do not let my emotions dictate my next trading decision. And those of you that are still struggling with that are still giving in to your emotions, it's a maturity issue. It really is. You're letting a immature 5-year-old version of yourself control you. That's a simple and the most basic explanation that I can come up with, is that you are letting a small child inside of you dictate your financial decisions. Now, I got tired of that. I used to do that, and I got tired of it, and I just said, no, I'm not going to be immature anymore. I'm going to grow up. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to make mature, wise decisions. I'm not going to be this emotionally driven trader. I'm not going to do it anymore. And it really was as simple as that. It doesn't mean that I don't still feel emotions. I still feel them all. When I see price moving away and I'm like, ooh, I could get into a position here, I should just push a button. I realize I now have the ability to step outside of myself and go, that's a dumb decision. Don't do that. That's your little 5-year-old child inside of you trying to jump up and take control and act like a little baby. Stop it. So, all of you can get there if you're not there already. It's just a daily decision to not break my rules. It's a daily decision to not give in to the temptation. It's a daily decision to ignore the emotional false alarms that are blaring inside of me every time I open these charts. My subconscious brain is constantly lying to me when I'm looking at the charts. It's constantly trying to get me to do the thing that I should not do. And I've learned to just shut off the false alarms and to ignore the emotional turmoil, because I've just learned that it doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't understand what it's trying to protect me from. It thinks there's something it's trying to protect me from. The pain of not making money, the pain of losing money, the pain of seeing profits disappear, the pain of losing a challenge, the pain of not passing a challenge. All of those things are just irrational fears that most traders listen to and believe, and therefore end up breaking their rules and doing dumb stuff to blow their challenges. Discord got that EU trade today. Nice, Cisco. Way to go, man. It was a decent setup. It was a counter trend trade up into that fair value gap, but glad you caught it. Good morning, Chase. Mr. Partha G. Good morning, everyone. Glad you're in. John Jones, just like Ace Ventura says, 3 darts is too much. 40 trades is way too much. What time are you doing the giveaway? The giveaway will happen 1 week from today. The 100K giveaway happens next Tuesday, the 26th. Today is September 19th, And if you read the graphic that is attached to the pin, it clearly says Tuesday, September 26th is our 100th live stream. So that is 1 week from today is our 100 live. It's our 100th live stream next Tuesday, which we will be giving away a 100K account to celebrate our 100th live stream. So you're more than welcome to be here and just for that giveaway. Totally get it. But hopefully you'll stick around and find some value in what we're doing and get yourself set up to start passing challenges, not just trying to win challenges from a giveaway. Taking 40 trades in a day will get anyone emotions running and giveaways next week. Thanks, Cisco. John Jones, he's not Brad Handouts today. Although I might be Brad Handouts in the Discord today. You never know. It's going to happen this week. One day this week, I'm going to pick someone to win a 25K account in our Discord channel. Someone who is active and participating in there. So join that Discord, and it's free, and be an active member, and I could be picking you to win a 25K account. So, but not today on the stream. No, I'm not handing out anything on the stream today. It's probably Brad Do Nothing today, not Brad Handouts today. I got my Brad Do Nothing hat on right now. John. Good morning, David Dreams. Welcome in. Red Ezekiel. Hey, what did I miss? I'm late today. Not much. Just, we did some analysis. You can rewind and watch if you want, but we're just chilling right now. Cisco, I didn't catch the E trade. Someone else posted it in Discord. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's it. All right, 45 minutes down. We got an hour and 15 minutes to go probably for today's stream, and we'll see if and what kind of setup we get. And now we just get to chill. Are you trading the ICT strategy? It is a version of the ICT strategy. It is the breaker block strategy. It's the way that I use it. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same way he uses it or understands it, but it's how I've set up my system is around his breaker. On this stream, the breaker block strategy is what we use. You can actually see I did a whole video on my YouTube channel. There is an entire strategy video that lays out step by step precisely the rules that are in place to execute a trade on this system. So you can check that out on the YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, it's called the 10K to $2 million funding strategy, I think is what it's called. Something like that. But anyway, you can watch it there. And yeah, hit that like button, guys. I would appreciate it. Thank you, John, for the reminder. Yeah, all right, we're just chilling. GU, we're still waiting. GU's pumping up into this buy side liquidity. So we're going to see if after we hit into this buy side liquidity, it's tapped into this high here, above these old highs. We'll see if it wants to get above here. And if it does, that's when we're going to start looking for and anticipating some displacement away down into our higher time frame draw of liquidity down here. So once we get up into here, the next place we'll look is here, but we're waiting to see this liquidity get tapped, and then we're going to wait to see if after that happens, do we get an aggressive move in the opposite direction? And if we do, we're going to be ready. Same for EU. Any move higher, we're going to wait to see if when we get the aggressive move lower. That's what we'll be waiting for. John says the breaker block strategy for me is still developing. I'm working on getting better at it. Yeah, it takes time. It takes time for sure to be able to identify them, to understand when and why and where they're happening, and then the execution of it. I've seen it so much. My eye just instantly goes to it now. Like I don't need all of the boxes on my charts. Oh, excuse me. I don't need all the boxes on my charts. I put them up there for the stream purchase purposes mainly, and just for when I copy images out to Discord and Twitter and such, so people can kind of understand what we're seeing. But besides that, I probably wouldn't have all this on there. I would just be waiting. I can just see and wait. Oh yeah, we're grabbing buy side. Okay, now we're getting displacement. There's the candle. There's the fair value gap. Enter. But it takes time. I didn't recognize them right away. It took me months to get to a place where I was comfortable recognizing it, and then it took me more months to get 100 trades. Excuse me, in the live market. And now it's just second nature, really. It's just second nature. Now it's just robotic execution. And more than robotic execution, it's really just perseverance and patience while you wait for it to show up. Muhammad says today was weird with GU. It's just choppy. This is very typical of price action before you get a massive news event on Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday often looks just like this. So pretty typical. Pretty typical. After you've seen it so many times in so many FOMC weeks or NFP weeks or whatever it is, you just learn that this is what it does. And you learn, okay, I'm not going to trade Monday and Tuesday. There's no reason to. There's no reason to try to jump in and find a setup on weeks like this early in the week. Now, can they happen? Yes. Are they likely to happen? No. Will you be ready if they do? Yes. But are you anticipating it to be like this? Yes. And so that means we're probably just going to chill and sit on our hands and enjoy each other's company, talking about trading or any other random thing that comes up in the chat. Whoops. We can look at oil. I've done it so many times, I remember it's called US oil now. So we've been in a very, very bullish uptrend. Obviously, just ramping higher. What has price done? I've talked about this so many times. When price comes up to an obvious draw on liquidity and does not just run right through it, what is it doing? Well, it's going to pull back to sell side liquidity, and then it's going to bull rush it. So a very, very obvious relative equal highs. There's buy side liquidity above this. We have run right up into it, and then we've stopped, and now today has been extremely bearish. Nothing but sell side pressure all morning on oil so far. Does that change your bias, and should you be looking for sells? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are in an uptrend. So what happens in an uptrend? You get pullbacks. And what happens when price runs right up to an area of liquidity on a higher time frame and pauses? Okay, well, now you're expecting price to come back into either internal liquidity, could be a fair value gap, it could be a breaker block, it could be this weekly fair value gap down here. There's obviously a big amount of room down to the wick here from a couple weeks ago. Could come back down into this old swing level that was broken last week, right here. This old swing level right here. It could want to come right back down into that. If you look on the 4-hour time frame, you can see we're in this massive trend up, just massive trend up. So it may want to grab some liquidity off of this trend line here. It may want to come down underneath that, grab some liquidity into that trend line, retest that swing level that was broken. I'm trying to see, there's liquidity under this here. not really any super clean fair value gaps. It may want to come back down into this fair value gap here underneath that trend line. You know, so I would just be waiting as price comes back down. I'm going to be waiting for price to run these lower sell side liquidity targets, and then I'm going to wait for displacement up. So there's no reason to switch your bullish bias on oil until a higher time frame swing level gets broken, which the first swing level that needs to get broken is down here under this. So until price displaces and closes below this level right now, there's no reason to be bearish. So you have a very clear higher time frame draw on liquidity. And so for me, oil is just pulling back. If you're a counter trend trader, could you look for sells? Yes. I don't like taking counter trend trades. The price is moving aggressively higher. So it doesn't need to come down super low. It can, but it doesn't need to. So I would be more interested to see price maybe tap into this sell side liquidity here. If it displaces higher after that, I would try to start buying on breaker blocks. If it wants to run lower, again, I would wait for price to run into this level or this level, and then look for retracements higher. Displacement higher. But to me, it's in a massive uptrend. There is a very sharp, clear trend line here. That's sell side liquidity. Trend line traders are waiting for a pullback to that trend line. They're going to wait for it to touch that and then take advantage, think it's going to continue higher. To me, that's just an obvious clear draw on liquidity for internal liquidity that it wants to grab before it bull rushes and runs this high right here. So that's kind of what I would be looking for, John. Breaker block, how to identify completely exactly what you're looking. When does it go up or down? How do you know it's a bullish breaker or bearish? Bastion, again, I would point you to my YouTube channel. There is a video on my YouTube channel that defines exactly step by step how to trade the breaker block. It lays out every single thing you're looking for. It gives you the terms. It gives you every single rule to follow. It tells you where to put your entry, where to put your stop loss, when to move to break even, where to put your take profit. It does everything step by step. It is laid out for you in that video on my YouTube channel. So you can go watch that. If we get it set up here, I will talk it through. And the one I talked through for EU this morning already, I talked through exactly that, this up close candle. Once more, this last up close candle right here is the breaker candle. Why? It's the last up close candle before we ran sell side liquidity underneath all the Asian lows, all the liquidity that's resting under here. And then once price tapped into this liquidity right here, when it tapped down into and broke through this sell side liquidity, what happened? It immediately and aggressively displaced away. It broke through and traded through aggressively this up close candle that was the last up close candle before we ran sell side liquidity. Once it ran sell side liquidity and then aggressively displaced through that, this becomes your bullish breaker. Because now we're anticipating price after it displaces through to come back into that breaker block. It's rebalancing this aggressive move up. And we're expecting that rebalance to come all the way down to the breaker. We look for a fair value gap right here that's inside that breaker. And we target an entry inside of that. And we look for a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. and it would have been an easy 1 to 2 on that trade setup right there. But you can go watch that video on YouTube and it will lay it all out. Cisco says, wait, 8 have... what? I don't understand. Cisco, you okay? I'm trying to understand your comment. Wait, 8 have Tate enjoy John's company? I don't even understand what that comment means, Cisco. Oh, I have to enjoy his company. I was like, surely that was a typo, but I'm not hip. I'm not hip on all the new slang out there. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just too old and I don't understand what the hell you just typed. All right, 1 hour in, we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour here. You can see on the hourly candles, we're in an uptrend on the lower time frames. That does not mean we have changed our bias. We still have a very clear draw on liquidity. We are still anticipating weakness on EU and GU, and all these pullbacks were up into this hourly fair value gap here. You can see on the hourly time frame this big displacement here, this sell side inefficiency. Price wants to provide efficient price delivery. So price could come and stab deeper up into this fair value gap here. It's about at the 50% line-ish. It's just a visual eyeball guesstimate that's about 50% of the way up through that fair value gap, somewhere in there. It's about there right now. So you have a stab up, 1, 2, 3 stabs up. So this is where I would start looking for and anticipating a reversal here at some point. But I don't know where and when it's going to happen. We're just going to wait for our breaker setup to form. GU has now taken out this swing high, so that's nice to see. I would now just watch and wait and see where and when we get if we get an aggressive move lower from this point forward. If we do, we're going to be ready. If we don't, we're also going to be ready to do nothing. Oh. John, Cisco, I enjoy everybody's company. Can you go back and look at some order blocks on oil? Sure, on the daily time frame. Here's your order block right here on the daily time frame. Back down here, the wick to the body is probably where I would be most interested to see price, how it reacts when it gets there. So that's around 88.14 level is where it starts, all the way down to 86.76. So that's your daily order block right there that you would anticipate price to react off and away from. On the 4 hour time frame, it's inside of a 4 hour order block right now. This down close candle would be your 4 hour order block, and then below that, this would be the next 4 hour order block. There's liquidity underneath this 4 hour order block, obviously that trend line that we pointed out. So it is inside an order block here, and then this would be your next. This is actually an 8 hour order block. You take these 4 hour candles together, that's an 8 hour order block. But either way, price has not quite gotten down into this order block, and it has not violated. It can wick down below this order block here and still respect it, which would be tapping into this order block. So those are the ones that I would just be keeping an eye on. 1 hour, it's still inside this. This is a 2 hour order block. You take these two candles together, that's a 2 hour order block. So all of that together, it's lining up with all of that. If it goes through those 4 hours, then I would come down here to the daily and be looking for how price responds off of that daily order block right there. I hope that answers your question. Oh, man. I got the yawns. Did anybody watch American football, the Monday Night Football game last night? And see that running back just destroy his leg? I need to see if I can... I'm going to see if I can find this. It's pretty not okay. Nick Chubb is a running back for the Cleveland Browns. Significant knee injury. It's oof. I gotta find. See if I can find it. Dislocated his left knee, tore his MCL, his PCL, and his LCL. Like, it's not it's not okay. Let me see if I can. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a little gruesome. So if you are not into seeing something gruesome, do not watch what I'm about to put on here. This is not fun. Let me get to it. All right. Oh my gosh. That is not okay. That is not how your knee is supposed to bend. Oh. That is brutal. Look, his foot is pointing this way. His foot is pointing this way. His knees bending the inside. God. That's insane. Anyway, the guy I was playing in my fantasy football league had Nick Chubb, and I was not sad to see that happen. I feel very sorry for Nick Chubb, but I won my fantasy football match mostly because of that injury. So sorry, Nick, but thank you. Yeah, that's got to be career ending. I don't know how you come back from that. I don't even know why you would want to come back from that. Why would you go through something like that and then be like, you know what? I want to go back out there and keep running. I want to go back out there and have someone else tackle me and go through that again, likely. That's just brutal. Brutal. It was not okay. Yeah, it's sad to see. I hate when players go through those horrible injuries like that. It's not fun to watch, and you feel so sad for them. It's just hard to watch, and it happens in front of the nation. The whole nation is watching you do that. So I feel bad for the guy. Prayers out to Nick Chubb. Hope he gets better. But grateful that I survived and picked up a win on my fantasy football. But I do hope he gets better. Why would you lose thousands of dollars trading and still go back? Oh, wait, most of us do that. Cisco. Yeah, I guess. I mean, the dude is worth millions of dollars. He's getting paid extremely well. So now he's going to lose out on millions of dollars if he cannot come back from that injury, of course, which is why he may want to get back out there on the field. So yeah, I get it. Nick Chubb's leg is our stop loss quite frequently. We should just use Nick Chubb's leg every time we get a stop loss. We'll just throw that GIF on there. Because that's pretty much exactly I get the ball, I take off running, I feel so confident, and then wham, leave my leg on the field. God, that poor guy, man. I do really feel, I'm not trying to make fun of Nick Chubb. I feel horrible for that dude, man. That is so painful looking. I can't even imagine the sound that came out of his mouth or the sound. Can you imagine the players or the guy that was hitting him? You know, he heard his knee go make all kinds of funky pops, clicks, explosions of cartilage. You know, they all heard that on the field. And then the sound that probably came out of Nick's mouth when that happened. I can't even imagine. It probably was one of those pains that was so sharp. You don't even make a sound. You just open your mouth and your eyes bulge out of your heads. And it's just like, it's like so painful that you can't even scream. Sorry, I threw my headphone off. It was probably one of those screams. Like and then it's just like, your adrenaline kicks in, and then you may not feel it, and then your adrenaline starts to wear off, and you realize your knee exploded inside of your skin. It's basically what happened. I mean, Bash said, Brad, he lost his leg, man. It's brutal. We can feel this reality. I feel the pain in Discord. My order block brutal for me, but in this, can you please share me and this pic I sent where lies breaker block? In the Discord, I'll look and see. All I know is order block and still losing. I still don't know yet or get entire breaker block. Maybe it's what I'm missing the best concept. Let me see if I can, how do I make that bigger? Oh, open in browser. Here we go. Just looking at your chart here, I'm trying to figure out exactly where you were looking or anticipating price to get to. And I'm not like I don't see like an entry or anything that you were using. Are you using? It looks like you're using an indicator or something to identify all this stuff. And I would say don't use those because they're inaccurate. Like coding something that tells you where an order block is, it's not going to give you the right order block. That'd be my first step. Is get rid of the indicators. They've junked up your chart so much. Let me see if I can. This is what I'm talking about. I'll throw this up here for everybody. So it looks like you're using, you've got several indicators on here that are laying out your trading sessions, which is fine. You've got your New York, your Asia, your London, but then you've got some kind of indicator here that's showing you where order blocks are, telling you where fair value gaps are, highlighting certain candles. I would ditch that indicator because it's not accurate. It's not accurate. This is not an order block. That's not an order block in there. Just because it's an up close or down close candle doesn't mean it's an order block. It's where they happen that are the most important things that you're looking for. So, yeah, I would just get rid of the indicator. Stop trying to rely on indicators to tell you where order blocks are or where you should be looking to enter or exit or something like that. Just, you need to train your eyes on where order blocks are. Order blocks are around old swing highs and swing lows. They initiate, order blocks typically are initiated at runs of liquidity. I feel a sneeze coming on. I'm sorry. Try and hold it off. We'll see if it happens. But there's just not, this is just very clunky and even hard just to look at and understand what's happening. So I would just try to get rid of those things if you can. That'd be my first suggestion. But I don't really see any other, like I'm not sure where you were saying that your order blocks failed, because I don't see an entry anywhere in here that I could analyze with you. But the indicator, whatever indicator it is that you're using, ditch it. GU is impulsively running higher here, which is nice to see a run on buy side liquidity here. Starting to see a run on more buy side liquidity here for EU. Again, we still have this hourly fair value, this large imbalance, sell side imbalance here on EU that it's tapping up into. So we'll watch and wait. Just waiting. We're getting our run into buy side liquidity, and now we're going to need to wait for some displacement. Into the, let's see, we're almost into 8:15 here. We'll see what happens as we head into through this 8 o'clock hour. I'll try to stay on through at least the 8 o'clock hour here, another 45 minutes or so. See if we get any setups. Have you ever got chirotherapy? Yeah, chiropractor. I do go to the chiropractor. My back, I actually don't have the best back in the world. So yes, I do go to the chiropractor. I do get adjustments. His leg is a margin call. Accurate. Indicators are late. The only indicator tool I use is a Fibonacci. I'll use a Fibonacci just to draw out to help me visualize where premium levels and discounts are, OTEs, possible extensions or standard deviations, stuff like that. I like VWAP, and I also have a trend line indicator. Yeah, I'm not against trend line indicators. I'm not against VWAP. I understand VWAP. I know why people use them. I'm not saying all indicators are bad. I'm saying the way that Bastian, the way that you have your indicators set up, it just messes your chart all up. There's so much information. You just need the candles. You don't need an indicator drawing out every single order block or what it thinks is an order block on your screen. You don't need that. It's going to confuse the crap out of you, which it sounds like it has. Trend line indicator, is that a moving average, John, that you're using for a trend line? Or is it something else? And to me, I don't know. I stopped using indicators probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Just stopped having stuff on my screen. If I see or hear about new ones that guys are using, I'll throw them on there just to see what they look like on my screens. But I mean, you're in an obvious trend. I don't even need I don't need anything on my chart to go, this is a downtrend. And I don't need to draw the line to see where the trend line is. And I don't really like trend lines because they change every time there's a new high. Like there was a trend line right here. It got ran. Okay, now the trend line's here. It was respected. Then it got ran. Okay, now the trend line's here and it's been respected. Oh, no, it got ran. Oh, now the trend line's here. Will it get respected? So it's like which trend line, and then if you just leave them on there, you've got this trend line, and now you've got this trend line, and now you've got this trend line. And before you know it, you've got which trend line do you need to have on your chart that you're going to keep and think it's going to respect. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. Now I just view trend lines as retail, as where smart money uses and looks for liquidity. Not to say that trend lines don't work, because there's a lot of people that make money trading trend lines. I'm not bashing trend lines. I'm just saying I view them differently now. I don't trade directly off of a trend line. I wait to see a trend line get run, and then I wait for displacement back with the direction of the trend. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, is run a trend line and then trade with the overall downtrend. So trend lines aren't necessarily bad. A lot of people use them. There's probably people that are making a lot more money than I am trading trend lines. So I'm not bashing trend lines. Yeah, your target liquidity. I mean, people use them for all different ways. You could use it to target liquidity. You could use it as a stop. You could use it as a target. You could use it as an entry. There's all kinds of different ways to use them. Channels and trend lines are a very powerful concept. Oh, I 100% agree, John. 100% agree. Very powerful. There's channels. People trade channels all the time. It is a very, very tried and true system. There are very simple systems built around trading channels and trend lines. 100% agree. Like I said, there are people out there making way more money than me trading channels and trend lines than I am currently trading a breaker block. ICT time theory, it's the neatest indicator for looking custom times. I used to have time indicators on here that showed you my sessions and stuff like that. Now I just see, oh, here's the Asian session. Oh, here's the London session, etc. As I entered on a long retest of that zone on that ran from left to right. You had so many zones on there, my friend. I have no idea which zone you would be referring to, but I would try to eliminate those indicators. Draw your own order blocks and understand why you're drawing them where you are. That's the main thing. Fib says, I find parallel channels on Bitcoin are goated. I don't trade Bitcoin. I've thought about using it. I'm sure that there are very similar trading concepts. Liquidity is liquidity, and the markets move the way they move from liquidity to liquidity is the general concept of smart money. And so I would assume that Bitcoin moves very similarly if it's not heavily manipulated. I don't know how Bitcoin could be heavily manipulated because of the nature of what it is. I'm guessing it can be, but I don't know. Bastion said, you said it's not order block and it just went past down, terrible losses. I was hoping to catch a big run at the retracement back to small order block, and it's worse that it goes straight down. I'm truly confusing. I'm not sure, my friend, exactly what you said I said, or where it should reverse, or why it should reverse. I don't trade order blocks. I trade breaker blocks, and I trade with them in the direction of the overall trend, in this case, downtrend. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's a little bit of a language barrier as well, where I don't think, it doesn't look like English is your first language, which is completely fine. But there could be some kind of language barrier in what I'm saying and what you're hearing me say and understanding, and then being able to implement that while you're trading could be part of the problem. I don't know, but it could be. I know that sometimes when I read your chat messages, I have to take a minute to try to decipher what it is you're trying to say so that I can try to help you answer that question. So I know that if I'm having trouble reading your chats and understanding them, you may be having trouble understanding exactly what I'm saying as well. I don't know that that's the case, but that feels like it could be. So there could be a language barrier issue that I don't know, but I don't remember calling out an order block. I don't trade order blocks. And I certainly haven't called any trades anywhere on the stream. So I'm not sure exactly. What it is that you're needing me to define or describe for you there. But all I know is that I did see that you said that you took 40 trades today. Now, if that's me not understanding your English and you didn't mean to type that, you took 40 trades, and I think it doesn't matter what I say. If you're taking 40 trades in a day, I'm not going to be able to help you, friend. I'm not going to be able to help you. So this interaction is fascinating to me. I'm trying to be, I really am trying to try to understand, and I want to see you improve your trading, Bastian. But I just don't know how to help you. The main thing I would say the very first thing you need to do is stop just guessing. I feel like you're just guessing a lot when you're entering the market. Like you don't truly understand the concepts, and you're still going in and you're just trying to take trades without actually truly understanding what is happening and why it's happening. But I also have a very difficult time understanding your chat messages. So the way that it's typed out, it looks like you're either using like Google Translate or you're just trying to type in English, but it's obviously not your first language, which again, that's totally fine, but it just makes it difficult for me to understand your questions or exactly what it is you're trying to get help with. AU is now tapping into buy-side liquidity, so hoping the dollar has got enough liquidity anytime soon now. Yeah, we're just waiting for DXY is extremely weak right now, getting a very healthy pullback. We're into our 4-hour fair value gap here. We've almost completely filled in this 4-hour fair value gap right here. So now we're just waiting to see if and when the dollar wants to. People are going to look at this break of structure right here on the 4-hour and think this is a shift of structure. And people are, as it returns back up into this fair value gap, you're going to get sellers at this order block right here. You're going to get people selling DXY. I would view this as a bear trap. And this is just a retracement. That's how I'm viewing this, as I still am interested in this buy side liquidity up here. You got a lot of clean buy side liquidity above these old highs from yesterday and Friday, and then you've got this clean buy side up here. So any of these pullbacks, I'm just waiting to see the dollar find some strength. It may not be today. It could want to reach down into these areas here, potentially retest this old support. This old swing level right here that it broke through. It could want to get back into this sell side to pick up orders to run this up here. So we'll see. We're just waiting to see if and when it's decided it has enough liquidity. Much like GU has tapped into all of the buy side liquidity here, and EU still climbing and tapping into its buy side. So we're waiting for the smart money reversal somewhere up in here, and then we'll be targeting moves into these lows when that happens. I could see a Brad Bastion spin-off to this channel. I mean, I could see why you would think that would be entertaining, but that does not sound like fun from me or Bastion. Bastion says, oh no, his comment just went away. Did he delete it? What happened? I don't know. I literally saw a comment from Bastion, and then as I started to read it, it just disappeared. Maybe he deleted it. A low resistance liquidity run for the buy side, DXY. Yep. EU GU looks like a manipulation to me. I agree. I think this is definitely some stop runs. People that were short from this move up here, their stops have been moved under here. That's all got run. This is about to get run. Anybody that was short from any of these moves lower, as if they were swing traders and they're holding positions, they're moving their stops down above these levels, and that's why there's liquidity above all these levels. So we've run this liquidity. Obviously, next, there's a nice little fair value gap up here. You're inside this 4-hour order block right now. Yeah, I mean, this is just all, this is what you want to see. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see a run into buy side liquidity before we see displacement away. So that's what we're seeing, what we want. Now we just have to wait and be patient. Cisco says, I understand the market like this. Price go up, price go down, price go sideways. It's as basic as it gets. You're right, Cisco. 100%. That's the only three things it can do. Whoa, Maggie. Bastion, I mean, this pick I sent, and yes, it was my pick I sent, and that was not an order block. It was not your call. I'm saying when you were analyzing my pick, you said it was not order block in my chart. I shared. Again, my friend, I'm not, you have so many order blocks marked up on your chart. And yes, it wasn't in BE order block. It was just going down. Okay, well, you can't just sell because price is going down, and you can't just buy because price is going up. LOL says, I think what Bastion saying is he is not using order block indicator. I'm not sure what he's trying to say. Stop talking about English. It won't make sense if I die. My friend, I don't know what else to do or say to help you. I'm not talking about English because I'm only saying that there is an obvious language barrier between yourself and myself. And I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm not trying to instigate or make it more difficult. It's just already difficult because of the language barrier. And I know you're trying very hard to communicate. I'm also trying very hard to communicate. But at some point, we reach a level in communication where we're going to have to say, I don't understand and I can't help you right now. And I think you may need to be at a point where you're like, I don't understand. And you should maybe find someone who speaks your language clearly that also teaches these concepts. I'm sure there is someone out there. I'm not exactly sure what country you're from or what language is your natural language, but I'm sure there's some smart money concept trader that could help you better grasp what it is we're trying to communicate here. But I don't think I'm the guy for you. Yeah, that's probably the best thing. I wish that I could help you. I just don't know what else to say or do to help you, because I am having a very difficult time understanding. And maybe maybe there's someone here in the chat that can reach out to you on Discord and help you because they speak your language. I do not. And so I may not be the best person to help you right now. So if there's someone else out there that could talk to Bastian, or I think his name's Idis on Discord, you're more than welcome to have that conversation. Ben A says, I'm in a Bitcoin short. What do you think? I haven't looked at Bitcoin. We can look at Bitcoin. I don't mind checking it out. I don't trade it, but I've done some analysis on it before. We failed to displace above this swing high here. We did displace below this swing low. We failed to displace this swing low here. You're just kind of inside this dealing range currently. You did grab sell side liquidity. You're heading back up. You've tapped into this weekly fair value gap right here. Still heading up. Monthly time frame, kind of hard to really, you're inside this volume imbalance. It came back up into it and has respected it. You did not quite tap into this monthly fair value gap right here, so maybe could be a higher time frame draw of liquidity up there. I mean, weekly you made higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then you made a lower low. You grabbed sell side liquidity. I would look to see if this level here is not a higher time frame draw of liquidity there above that swing level, and then see if you get displacement if you're short bias. You've tapped back up into it. You've grabbed this sell side liquidity and displaced higher. It just really depends on what is your overall bias, short or long. And to me, I don't really have a super clean, clear, immediate draw. Like, what's the bias? Like, for weeks, it's been up. And right now, you're just more than anything moving kind of sideways on the weekly time frame. And very clearly sideways on the daily time frame. Looking at the 4 hour, quick stab of liquidity above the buy side, and now we've stabbed up again into that buy side liquidity. So if you're bearish, if you drop down to the 15-minute, you've stabbed into buy side. If you're bearish, you would be looking at some sell side liquidity under here. I would want to see, now that you've stabbed into buy side, displacement below, potentially. If you see displacement below here, then you could use one of these candles as your breaker block to run this short-term swing high here, and then displacement below. But currently, for a breaker block strategy, I don't see anything on Bitcoin that I would be interested in wanting to take if I was looking to get short. more than anything, I see that this could be your higher time frame draw liquidity up here, as you've already stabbed into sell side liquidity right here and immediately displaced higher. On the 4 hour, you can see we stabbed sell side. And then as soon as we stab sell side, it just reverses and starts climbing higher. It's taking out buy side liquidity. It left this swing level in place. So I don't know. I'm not, again, I don't have a very clear bias on this right now, just looking at it. But if anything, I would be waiting for displacement lower and then using one of these candles as a breaker to get long off of or get short off of. I would want to see displacement through this level and then a fair value gap left behind somewhere in here. I was hoping I could have seen one breaker block on my chart pick I showed you. Only found mistakes on the chart because of indicating. Yeah, I was, Bastion, I'm just saying that you had so many on there. I can't even look at your chart. Like there was so confusing, like trying to point out on your chart where things would be. With all the other stuff on there, it just would make it even more confusing. So that's the only reason I was saying you need to get rid of the indicators, is because it's just too confusing for me to even give analysis on it. LOL says, Bastion, I'm sweating trying to understand you. I'm not, don't make fun of Bastion. Like he's trying to communicate. I get it. I'm trying not, I understand why you all think it's interesting, but Bastion, try and remove the indicators and then send the pick again. What is your first language? Yeah, what is your first language? We might be able to find someone that can help you. Been a run of yesterday's highs, just targeting back down into that sideways range overnight. I see, yeah, on Bitcoin. I mean, not a bad play. I get it. If I'm going to trade a breaker, that's just what I would be waiting for. Yep, agree. Buy side, I guess. I don't trade Bitcoin either. Bastion, that exactly is what my point. You can talk and we are chatting and we have to be fast and clear to your understanding. I want to learn. I get that you want to learn. I'm just saying, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be extremely frustrating for you and potentially for me to continue to try to help you understand when there is a very obvious language barrier that I can't seem to get past to help you. So that's the only reason. If you can, what's your natural language? And then maybe we can find someone that could help you understand that in your language so that it kind of clears it up some. Because quite honestly, reading through your chat messages, it's hard for me to get to the question that you're asking sometimes. Saeem, go now. Hopefully market starts moving. Yeah, man. Thanks for being on the stream today, buddy. Appreciate you and glad you're here every day. Thanks for showing up. Have a great rest of your day, man. We'll catch you tomorrow. EU starting to get our displacement down now, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Dollar finding some support there. So potentially what I would be looking for is displacement below here. Whoops. This is our first potential breaker block right here. On EU. GU, we don't really have anything on the 15-minute on GU until we get down here. On the 10-minute, same, still down here. So GU has a little bit more displacement to have happen. EU could be the setup that we're looking for right there. Basha says, LOL, I'm okay with personal points of order you make on my barrier of my language and ability to understand you. I totally get it. Maybe you need to have the ability to see that your breaker block strategy. Maybe you need to have the ability to see that your breaker block strategy, if it's understood by me, a person like me. Your worst student, maybe I'm. So what I can teach to the world who speaks my language, I will credit you. This is my limited vision to deliver. John, now I understand why you think that would be. Now, I think you might be onto something. Bastion, I have a business proposal for you. A paid subscription YouTube channel where you and I chat all day, every day, that people will pay us to watch us interact. It could be highly entertaining, my friend. Because the fascinating thing to me about this is, like, you ask a question, but then you also like insult me at the same time. Or at least in the English language, what you're saying, and I don't even know if you know what you're saying or how it's coming across, but the way that you talk, you sound like you want help, but then you also accuse me of being an idiot and not understanding what I'm doing. And then say that you want me to teach you and be the best trader in the world. So it's just, there is some comedy inherent in the fact that we're talking this way to each other. And people find that entertaining. So maybe we could just start our own YouTube channel, and we'll set up a YouTube subscription. It'll be a private channel, and people will just pay to watch you and I chat and figure out what the hell we're trying to say to each other. Oh my God. Sorry for everyone else who has to see my bad English ideas beyond language. Try to use a translator, buddy. Jeez. Bastion, there's this guy called ICT, Inner Circle Trader. Please private message him. And the next time he does a YouTube live, please hop in his chat and ask him this question. And message me on Discord before you do so that I can tune in. Oh Lord, I don't know how else to help you, friend. I really don't. The only thing I can do is just encourage you to watch my trading strategy, where it tells you exactly what to do, what we're looking for, why we're looking for it, what the rules are, etc. So that's the only thing that I can tell you to do, is that. That's why, LOL. That was kind of the sarcastic point that I was trying to make, is I wonder what ICT, what would Michael say if he was trying to help Bastion right now? That would be entertaining. You really need to find someone who speaks your language, which I still don't know what it is. I still don't know what language it is that you speak. if you can find someone who can speak your language, I think you're going to find more success. I don't know that I'm the guy to help you. You're more than welcome to hang around. You're more than welcome to keep asking questions. I just don't think I'm going to be able to explain things to you in a way that's going to be helpful. And it is sucking up stream time for anyone else. And it's making everyone else awkward and uncomfortable or entertained, one or the other. I'm not really sure. But EU's setting up. Yeah, we're getting a nice little setup here on EU, so we'll see. We'll see how it works. We'll see what is happening. We'll need this 15-minute. This next 15-minute candle is going to be the determining factor here for EU, I think. Local trader schools are not good. Learn from the best, says Ali Shahaban. Ali, you won a 10K challenge, I believe, didn't you? I think you did. How is that? Give us a little update on that 10K challenge. Cisco sucking up time. We sit here and do nothing anyway. Come on, guys. Don't do that to Bastion. And I'm not even sure what his name is. Bastion Schultz is obviously not your name. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what his actual name is. His handle is Bastion Schultz, but Bastion is obviously not his God-given mother name. So yeah, and unfortunately I failed at phase 2. That's okay. You made it past phase 1, which means you made over 8%. So if you made it to phase 2, you did really damn good. And just because you didn't pass phase 2 does not mean that you're a bad trader. You made 8%, man, to pass phase 1. So you'll get there. Now he's gone. I don't think he's gone. I'm pretty sure he's probably still around. Oh, you needed $70 more and then you still failed? Oh, God, dude. I'm not saying anything against Bastion. I was going after, you said it's sucking up time. We have time to give, so I don't think it's sucking anything. Well, it's just, yeah. I only mean that it's sucking up time and that it's not, we're not really getting anything accomplished. Like, I'm not helping him and he's getting more confused. And I feel like he's maybe even upset that I'm not helping him. And I know for me, it's frustrating, even though it may be entertaining for you to see me get frustrated trying to help him. I just don't know that there's going to be a good solution to that. So no insult. I know you probably didn't mean it to be an insult. I know that. And I get that. That's why I'm saying, that's why I even said, I know you probably don't understand what you're saying and how it's coming across to an English-speaking person, but you're giving compliments and insults in the same sentences. who are trying to watch us interact. That's why it's funny. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing at the situation that you and I are in. So Ollie says, I lost my control. Yeah, it happens, dude. Don't worry about it. I trade in my personal account these days. $30 short. It's so frustrating when you get into a situation where you have that kind of, excuse me, where you have that kind of, I don't know, you're so close to your TP and you just want to knock it out. And so you try to find something stupid to do, or you convince yourself there's something there and you make a stupid move, and then all of a sudden you're down 1%, and then you try to get that back and you're down 4%, and then you're back to break even, and then before you know it, you've just revenge traded yourself out of an account. I used to do that. I know exactly what you're talking about. If it come out like that, you can't help anyone. Take care. Take care, my friend. I don't know if that's you saying goodbye, but take care as well. I hope I hope you come back. I mean, I hope you can watch the stream. I just don't know how helpful it's going to be. It seems like it's very frustrating for you right now, and I understand why. I just don't know how to fix that. So take care, my friend. I won't need anything anymore. Again, if you could tell me what your natural speaking language is, we might be able to hook you up with someone who could actually really do some good for you. I just don't think I'm the guy. I don't know, Ollie. I'm not really sure. There's just a big language barrier. Victor asks EuroCAD thoughts. We can look at EuroCAD and I'll see. We've got about another 10 minutes here on the euro dollar setup. I know that they just had news come out for the CAD. Oh man, their inflation rate popped way hotter than expected. So that's going to be, they're definitely going to be raising interest rates, which is why the CAD is pumping pretty strong in anticipation of further rate hikes for the Canadian dollar. So yeah, I mean, overall, let's look at our higher time frame. We're moving sideways. You immediately jump on a daily chart, and what do you see? You see sideways price action. So currently probably in a downtrend, but we're reaching the bottom of this range. There's a daily breaker right here that immediately jumps out to me. This was the last down close candle. We went up into buy side liquidity. We've displaced through it. There's a fair value gap. So on a higher time frame, potentially you could look for a reversal up into this fair value gap in this daily breaker to see price continue to go lower. There's obvious sell side liquidity under these relative equal lows right here. There's sell side liquidity under these swing levels and this trend line that we've just destroyed. And now currently, because of news, we're heading lower. Let's see on the 15 minute. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You do kind of have a breaker here where you ran this sell side or buy side liquidity right here, this old swing level, and displaced through. So you're getting such an aggressive move down. I don't know that I would want to target that specifically, but that could be something here. I would probably want to keep my stop either above that swing high, but certainly above that swing high there. And it could be something like that if I was looking for an entry there, but it grabbed buy side liquidity above this swing level and then displaced lower. There's a tiny fair value gap potentially right in there. I would just target 50% of this breaker. Last down close candle before we popped up into buy side liquidity and then displaced lower. So there's your breaker setup on the 15 minute. Not really anything else on a 1 hour. Maybe you could use this as your breaker on the 1 hour here. Get rid of the smaller time frame. Last down close candle, we run buy side liquidity. We finally displaced through it. You're going to need the next hour candle to leave behind a fair value gap, and then you could potentially target a retrace back up into this area here for a potential move like that. So just be patient and wait for that pullback. Eurodollar. So what I would kind of like to see preferably is to see this 15-minute candle close outside of that breaker. I prefer it not to close back inside this breaker, even though it's going to leave behind a fair value gap right here. I would prefer it not. I would prefer it to close bearish, number one. But if it's going to close bullish, I would still prefer it to close outside of this breaker right here, outside of this box. So we've got about 6 more minutes. We'll see if it cooperates with us at all on that. And if it does, then I would be looking for just an entry, probably just right up in here, and I'd have my stop probably just above that candle, like 14.5 pips or something like that. And then my target would be down under the overnight lows, the London lows and Asian lows down there. So we'll see if this setup happens. Again, this candle right here, I would prefer it not to close inside that breaker. So in the next 5 minutes, if we can get a little push down, then I would set this up. I can anticipate and get the lines and everything set up on my MT5. So I do have a setup here forming, and so we'll just watch and wait. We got about 4 more minutes to see if that plays out. Hey, babe. Surname looks German. Yeah, I definitely don't think he's German. You really do have a lot of patience, Brad. If I asked what his native language was and he sends many other messages without even thinking to answer the direct question, I'd kick him out. Is Venator your name? It is not important, my name and nation. No, my name is Brad. I think everyone in here knows my name is Brad. It's handle name. Okay, all goodbye. Liam Lynch says, "Hey man, loving your journey. Thanks, Liam, for being here, and thanks for the comment. Appreciate that." Appreciate that, Liam. We have a nice little setup here forming on EU, so hopefully it's pretty clean. And I'm not sure if Bastion is gone or not, but I hope you have a good day, Bastion, wherever you're at. I definitely was not trying to make it more frustrating for you than it needed to be. It didn't feel like you were willing to participate in getting help for yourself by answering some questions so we could help you. All right, just a couple minutes here, and then we'll see how it closes, and then we'll see if we get our setup. Oops, nope. That will be where I have my entry and stop, depending on how this candle closes here. It's going to be, if it's borderline, I'll set it. I'll probably take it, but if it closes high up and bullish in the next minute up into that wick, I will probably not take it, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set a limit order here. And I'm going to also get it set up on my other. So no 3, 3. So right there, there. Oh, shoot. There, and then one more. Come on. All right, so we've got our limit orders set here. Let me copy this out, and I'm going to tweet this and put it in the Discord real quick. All right, posted. Sell limit posted there. We will copy that. I'll put that in the Discord as well so everyone can see it who's not currently up in here. Full transparency on those trades just so everyone can see as we go what we've been doing. Hopefully we get just a little pop up there. Before we make a further run down. I don't think I think Bastion's gone, and I don't think he's going to come back, quite honestly. I think he got frustrated. I get why he's frustrated. I don't, it's hard not to laugh. I don't think he understands why there's even humor in that, like you all do. So, I don't want anybody to feel like an idiot in here, but it's just very difficult to talk to someone when they don't understand English. Man, hopefully we can get just a little bit of a pop up there into that fair value gap. And we can get triggered in. What were they barking out there today? Another dog? All right. What else is there to do today? I don't know that there's much more. We identified exactly what we were wanting to see happen. We've got a clean setup on EU, and now we're just waiting for a little bit of a pullback here. And good Lord, Kirby. Kirby's over here trying to already destroy our trade opportunities. One little pullback is all we need. Can you go over gold like you did oil? Sure. Oops, that's not the right. I can't type. Moving sideways. That's my immediate reaction. I mean, technically we're making, on the weekly, we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. That this weekly swing level right there is what I would be looking for to see if price wants to tap into that or if it wants to displace above it. On the daily time frame, we're moving sideways. You're inside this dealing range right here. Currently, this high to this low, you're just kind of stuck inside of it right now. So you would want to see some manipulation, maybe potentially, of one side of that or the other. You've taken out sell side, you've taken out buy side in this little consolidation area, back up inside a fair value gap right here. Yeah, I mean, you obvious buy side liquidity up here, and you have some sell side liquidity below. It's just moving sideways. It's just, there's not a clear, I don't have a very strong clear bias for this. When you get down on the 4 hour, it looks, even, you can see we've tapped into some sell side. We displaced higher. We've tapped into the buy side. On the 4 hour, you're in a slight uptrend. On the daily, you're moving sideways and you're back into the middle of this overall range right here. You're right back into this, right in the middle of all this junk. It doesn't look very appetizing to me. I had said earlier this week that these highs would probably get run before you saw a move lower. If it wanted to move lower, it would probably tap up into that. It's done that. Did that yesterday and overnight. So now at this point, I don't know. You're at this order block right here. If this order block fails, I would definitely target these highs. So if this order block right here gets traded through and violated and displaces and closed above it, I would immediately look to see that buy side liquidity get tapped into. If this order block gets rejected on this 4 hour time frame, then I would look for this fair value gap down here potentially as some internal sell side liquidity underneath these relative equal lows right here. So currently it's tapped into buy side liquidity. If the dollar's going to find some strength, you would anticipate gold falling off a little bit here. You do have a nice retail trend line here that could potentially be rated. So you've run into buy side liquidity here on the 1 hour. You're starting to get some displacement. I mean, on the 15 minute, you're starting to get some displacement lower. Potentially, I would probably want to see displacement through this area here and then see if there's a fair value gap. If I wanted to get short, it may be right there, something like that. That's kind of quick take. Euro dropping like a rock without giving us an entry. What do you know? Mr. Alfie says, have to go now, so see you tomorrow. Thanks, Brian. Keep up the good works. Thanks, Mr. Alfie. Appreciate you being here. Cisco says, John waited for the wife to be up before he sent you to the Gilded Gowns. Yeah, I can always count on John. Thanks, John. Ugh, it's frustrating to see this. Our entry was 07033, and we got up to 0701. So two pips. 2 pips, and looks like we might get swerved. So that sucks. If anybody is in the Discord, you can feel free to private message. I think his name is Itus in the Discord, ITUS. Oh boy. I got a big long message from him in the Discord, and it's one of very many long messages I've received from him in the Discord. wherein I've also said the very same things I've said to him on this stream. I have said to him in the account, in the Discord messages, basically asking him what is his language so I can help him, and he never answers me. I think he's from India. I think, but I don't know what language they speak there, and he won't ever tell me. He just asks me to keep giving him an account, and then yells at me when I don't. Like it's so weird. He will. It's like it's schizophrenic almost, where he will compliment me, and then at the very next sentence just start abusing me. And it's I don't know, maybe it's a culture thing where it's like, hey, you're really awesome, but you suck. But you're also really awesome and I want you help, but you suck. So I don't know what to make of the guy. But anybody on our Discord channel, feel free to message him and see if you can help him. I think he's from India, but I don't know that 100% for sure. But he likes to type in English, because the messages that I get are paragraphs long. They are the most confusing, rambling messages I've received from anyone ever. And you can't understand them. But he certainly gives it his all in trying to communicate with me. And I will not put it up here. I don't want to further embarrass him at all, but that's not my intent. But he'll be here Friday. Cisco, 100%. He will definitely be here Friday when we do the giveaway. So we'll see. I mean, I there's a part of me that feels really, really bad for people in that situation who they want to learn. I think the guy really wants to learn, but I don't know how to help him because I can't talk to him because we don't speak the same language, and Google Translate is confusing the mess out of what his questions are and him understanding me. So it's not helpful. And it's the potential for everyone in here just to make fun of him is high, and I'm trying to avoid that. Oh, John, always with the cultural pop quips. I appreciate it. Well, super clean setup. If EU fails, then you do have GU potentially working out here with a breaker. If EU doesn't give us the pullback into our entry, we may have a nice setup here on GU, but we still have a couple candles that we'll need to work through. We'll need to see some displacement lower and a fair value gap left behind inside here. So potentially something there on GU if EU doesn't give us a pullback here. Kind of sad because that's a super clean setup on EU right there. But we'll wait and see. Really, until we run this liquidity down here, I would be fine with holding this trade for the next couple hours and see if we can get an entry. But that candle, I was just hoping that new 9 o'clock candle would pop up. But it does appear that it just wants to drop and not retrace at all. Seems to be an Indian kid. Potentially. Yeah, I don't know his age or, I don't know any of that. But some of the things he's asked me for in the messages makes me think that he's definitely a kid or a very young person. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. It's just when I see I have a private message from him, I just kind of cringe a little bit because I don't even want to open it sometimes. because I just know it's going to be frustrating to try to read it and figure out what he's asking. Well, fellas, GU maybe give us a setup here, but EU looks like EU is just going to not participate. Bradley, I am genuinely impressed by your ability to exceed my lowest expectations. That is exactly how it feels. Let me compliment you while I throw you to the ground. No one does a better job of letting me down than you do. A positive spin. The indexes are getting slammed right now. So if gold, this is what we were just talking about with gold, John, a little bit ago. If gold can displace here below, I think this level and leave behind a fair value gap, I think you could potentially sell off of this level here. You could do the high of the day or that candle, maybe just the high of the day, and then target your sell side liquidity here. Ultimately, I think these relative equal lows down here is where it might want to tap into. But if this current 15-minute candle here on gold can close below this breaker, then you might have a potential sell opportunity there. But it's got a lot. We just opened. We're 2 minutes in, so we've still got 13 minutes here on this candle. So if you could get some displacement below this section, I think you might have a sell opportunity there on gold. But all right, guys, I think that's a good enough stream for today. Probably go ahead and call it there. Hang out over in the Discord. Today or tomorrow, I'm probably going to pick someone over there in the Discord to get that 25K account. So y'all stay active over there, help each other out. If someone wants to reach out and try to help Bastion, go for it. You have my blessing. Good luck. Otherwise, y'all stay safe. Happy hunting. Be patient and wait. Don't just be pushing buttons out there to get into a trade. You're not missing anything. We'll be back again tomorrow at 7 a.m. and see what we see. But until then, y'all have a great day. Adios, y'all.